University.
No, keep going.
Yeah, there's no choice. I'm not stopping this.
Oh
Uh,
my God.
welcome everyone as Javis recovers right now. We can keep it locked and loaded with information.
Oh my God.
As always, I'm your host Joseph, but also always, who's always with me, is this fool over here, Javis, who will make no
Oh,
doggone sense, who shouldn't have been saying nothing to begin with, and now we're sitting here having uncontrollable laughter instead of giving you guys a great show today. He's literally bent over laughing. That's
oh
how
my
bad it is.
God.
Useless information. I swear to God. All right. So, I'm like, who's sitting there texting me right now? It's YouTube letting me know that I'm live. Thank you, YouTube.
Oh my God.
All right, Jay. Trying to figure out what we're going to talk about today. Do you know?
Yes, that's what I was actually looking up because there is something I wanted to talk about, but I wanted to get the article so that I can talk specifics instead of just out of the way. And I'm just gonna go ahead and bring it up. Just in case you've heard some of the things that are going down, because this man just won't stop. Okay, so we talked a little bit about this already, but it's Zachary Levi. It's the
Mm.
main actor of Shazam.
Oh no. What did
Oh,
he do?
he's not what he. It is kind of what he did. This man has gone full blown Monique on this situation. He
No.
won't stop. He's going on Instagram, he's going on Twitter. He is telling everyone that will listen to him or will hear him speak. That's just like, and this is why that failed, and this director shouldn't have done that, and I don't know why they wrote that over there. He's going in, and everyone's just like, and the article is literally talking about the fact that they're like, yo, Zachary Levi talking about why Shazam failed is getting more attention than the actual movie at
Mm.
this point. At this point in time, people are tuning in to hear him bash everybody.
The report literally says Zachary Levi's online meltdown over Shazam's 2 flop is more entertaining than the movie itself. Jesus.
He won't stop. Every single time I go online, he's back on live. And he's just like, yeah, so this happened because of that. And then now the big news is the fact that he what was it? I think maybe that was the news we talked about last time. The fact that he was blocked from being in
Yes.
yeah, we did talk about that. So yeah, that was his big thing. He said The Rock has something to do with that. Um yeah, he says, I'm coming to the defense of truth because truth is good and we should all live in it. Um, even if it might fly in the face of something we believed before. So he's full on going in on the fact that he believes he's right. And truth of the matter is he is right. At the end of the day, everything that he's saying, but everyone's worried about his damn career because this is not something you do as an actor.
What career? Because I mean, I'm being completely honest when I say this. He had something with Shazam and it was magical and it was like the perfect thing for him to do. But somebody took that and turned it into crap. And when that happens, when your movie flops, you can't get work for a while because no one wants to touch you. This is going to be the same thing with Rock as well. Anyone that's like a part of those shows or those movies or those any of those, the curse that happens is you're as great as you as your last movie was when it comes to Hollywood. And he has a great point. So if he's going to do a meltdown, then by all means do a meltdown. He's entitled to because he had something that was working and no one took the time to just I don't know if the word is nurture it or like hold it a certain I don't even know what the right phrase is, but they had something that was fun. It wasn't, oh my gosh, the best thing I've ever seen in my life,
Yeah.
but it was something. Like I can sit down and watch Shazam with the family. We can laugh, have a great time, and we're good to go. Hang out with your friends and do it. Hang out with your family and do it. And like I think I actually saw that in the movie theater, and like it's the same scenario. It was good. But then you I still get upset over how they made the announcement and they're saying that they're just not going to continue with any of that. That should have waited until the last movie. I think that was very
Yeah.
disrespectful to everybody that put in so much effort for the work. And this is finally someone standing up and saying, "Hey, yes, this was wrong. I had something. It was working. We had a sequel to it. It may not have been the best, but if you guys actually would have, put hands on it and like looked at it and said, here's where we need to go. Here's what we need to change to actually make it good instead of just like, I don't care." You had a director that knew it was bad, but didn't do anything to make it better. You had producers in there. There was like, how much money can we just get out of this and just keep it moving? You had nobody that was willing to put love on that project. And when you don't put love on a project, it's doomed for failure. And that's the perfect example of what happened. And what makes it worse is that now I don't even think what makes it worse is what Zachary's doing. What Zachary's doing is what I think should happen. I'm not mad at him. I'm
I'm
honestly
not
not mad.
either. I'm honestly not.
It needs to
And
be a sit down, and someone needs to say, "Hey, there are consequences to you guys making these actions." And I'm 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 not in this. Me as a person, Joseph, I'm not in this. I don't have a dog in this race. I just want to sit down and watch a good movie, and I want to enjoy myself. But
exactly.
if you decide to make these changes and stuff, you need to understand that you should have just done what you said, James, last week and in prior weeks. Is you should have just released it all on HBO Max or whatever. Just release it and say we're done with it. That way, no one can sit there. No one criticizes it when it pops up on HBO Max. I'm sorry, but they don't. When
They
you
don't.
decide to put that in a movie theater, there's a ton of criticism. But if you just release it and say, "Hey, because we made all these changes to the DC world, we know we're supposed to be releasing these movies. We're not. It's not worth our time." Not even say it's not worth our time. It's not beneficial to us to sit there and put this much effort into it when we know we're going to be going a different route. But these projects were made and these people deserve to have their stuff shown. And we want to show appreciation and love to them. Some of them may be moving on and doing some other projects with us. Some of them will not be moving on and doing projects with us. But you, as fans who's actually taking the time to watch this, deserve to actually still be able to see this in the comfort of your own home or support how you want to. You feel you want to give something, get a subscription to HBO Max, and then watch these movies and show your support and love through websites and everything. Blah blah blah. And they should have done it that way. But instead, it's just like we're not going to be following this anymore. We're not going to be doing any of this. We're not going to work with the people. All of them are fired. Everybody's gone. The movie releases soon, so I hope you guys can go and see it.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's nothing left to do but criticize at this point.
Yes.
And can you imagine them going, okay, them making the announcement you just said, and then saying this summer, HBO Max exclusive. Every week we're gonna release a new movie. Black Adam, Shazam, Flash, Aquaman, all within 4 weeks. This would be the biggest release of any streaming service ever. Then
Yeah.
you have one of the greatest news stories you've ever had
Yes.
ever. And it would have been the first big DC news. And then everyone would have been complaining that we didn't get more instead of us complaining that yeah, you cut it off at a good time.
They'll
So it
also be like, "Well, why can't the other streaming channels, pop out these movies the way they just did? I don't understand.
yes.
They did all these movies at one time. I didn't. It may not have been great or perfect, but it was able to be done. So why can't
Yep.
be the other flat? Like it'll be a yeah. You're right. It would have been a completely different conversation.
Oh my
Yeah, I could
god.
totally. That would have been better.
That
That
would have
would have
been
been so much
so
better.
much better. But yes, that is the situation with him. The biggest news I think that has come out since then is that we found out from him that there was supposed to be another post-credit scene on Fury of the Gods that had the characters of Black Adam in his movie, and that would have been a better a better integration between the two movies, which is what he wanted. He said he was supposed him and Henry Cavill were supposed to be in Black Adam at that last post credit scene, and then characters from Black Adam, I think Hawk and somebody else were supposed to be in Shazam, and he said even that would have been better than telling us that we couldn't be together as movies, even though
Yeah,
everyone knows the comic
yeah.
books, they're always together. So it just it didn't the whole thing didn't make sense. I do have a secondary topic I
It's
wanted
like
to
having Batman and Robin, right? Having a Batman movie come out and he doesn't mention Robin, which is fine. You can do that. But having a Robin movie and he doesn't say a single word about Batman,
yes.
you can't have
Doesn't
a complete Robin movie and nobody in Gotham says the word Robin at all, you can't do that. Go ahead, though.
It doesn't make any sense. And so yeah, so if you're following the story, I don't think this man is stopping anytime soon.
Good.
Good for him. And we want to hear more, and I hope that his honesty for his passion for this project and
Hmm.
how upset he is, I hope that alone gets him more movies because everyone loves Zachary Levi. Everybody loves this man, and everybody wants to see him do well. So,
He had his own series that was really good. I watched it till the very end. The last season was a little bit weird, but I mean they made it, so it was a good season. And then he went from there, and then you see him again pop up for Marvel Universe when it became he was in Thor. And so I really enjoyed his
yes,
character in Thor.
yeah,
It was fun to watch. And then he leaves that and then he's back on the DC side and he does this. And I'm like, okay. So he's always been and then he does the cons. He does the those events. He's like true. I think he even has like his own podcast where he talks about the shows. Like he is a nerd like us, and he saw something and he said he can make something better by him being on it, and he did, and it was because it was one of the best things that was coming out of the DC world, because all that other stuff was just yeah. But it is what it
uh,
is. I hope he continues, and I hope it would be awesome if he does some sort of a documentary or a mockumentary of being in that world and being told, like being on top and having something like that, and then someone comes in and says everyone's fired and what they have to do to like overcome that. That would be an awesome movie that I
that
would
would
see.
be now that I would 100% watch.
Yes.
And it's just so crazy. As you're talking, I'm remembering more of the article and about how he came out to talk about his role in Thor and how it was supposed to be more, but they wouldn't give it to him. He has talked about how
Really?
yes, and he has talked about how the characters in Shazam and Black Adam, not him and Rock, but the side characters were actually supposed to get HBO Max spin-offs after this, but
Oh wow.
that's been canceled too. So it screwed up everyone's trajectory.
Because
Be-
when you're in that room bidding and like negotiating your contract and stuff, they're actually sitting there telling you like, I know you're gonna be in this movie, but what we have for you is blah blah blah. HBO Max is gonna have its own thing, and that's where you're really gonna start to shine and grow and have your own. Like they say that to you.
yeah,
Wow, to have that and have it taken away, I don't have words for that, Jay. That's
because you were
horrible.
just talking about the fact that they didn't develop the characters enough. This
Yeah.
would have been that development,
Yes.
and we'll never see it. And
Yeah,
that's so upsetting. So upsetting. But yeah, so let's switch to some good news. So we have some good news
that was
right
good
now.
news. I
we,
was happy.
we we have some good news right now, and that is whether you love it, whether you hate it, they just released a Dungeons and Dragons movie. Um, Finally. Now my personal perception is because I haven't looked at the at how well it's doing, if it's doing well at all. But it's got an all-star cast of people that I
Mhm.
really want to see. I am gonna
Girl in
be,
there, James.
huh?
It's got our girl in there.
Michelle Rodriguez. I'm so happy. They also have Justice Smith, who is one of my favorite actors. He was the main actor in Detective Pikachu. He is in this as well as Chris Pine from the Star Trek film series. I mean, you just can't go wrong with this cast, man. This is a phenomenal cast of people, and I'm going to go see it just for the cast, just to see them interact with each other. It's going to be so incredible. But the graphics and all the CGI and all the 3D and all that's going to add on to it, because seeing all of this stuff happen from Dungeons and Dragons happen on the screen. Now, of course, it does seem slightly kid-ish. Dungeons and Dragons really isn't. So the fact that this is slightly kid-esque, um, it was a slight deterrence. I didn't want it to be too kid friendly. I wanted it to be more adult if they ever did a Dungeons and Dragons movie. but whatever. So my question to you is this something that you would like to see, number one?
Yes.
And my second question to you is the so because it is Dungeons and Dragons, um, the Christian Council and the Parents Council is out to picket this movie. Um, and my question to you is, do you because every something that's been known ever since I was a kid was if the Christians Council and the Parents Council are boycotting a movie, I'm first in line to see it. I have to see this movie if they don't want people to see this movie. Now, I'm somebody that has played, I don't play Dungeons and Dragons, but I do play Pathfinders once a month with friends, which is a role playing game. They've created a lot of role playing type games after Dungeons and Dragons came out. So it's same premise, different storyline, and different rules, but you're doing the same thing. Playing the game, there is I think they do it because they feel as though it's satanic. And Satan has not been a thing about this game since I started. And I started playing years ago, many, many years ago. Basically, you, as the creator, you create the storyline. You can follow the rule book or you cannot, and you can follow the storyline of the book or you can create your own storyline. The game is in the hand of the creator, the
Mhm.
dungeon master.
Yep.
So you're the DM if you're the creator. So um I wanted to know, do you feel like this is something that should be boycotted, or do you feel like the boycotting should just stop?
There's there's always going to be boycotting when the moment you say Dungeons and Dragons because of its past and its history, because knowledge is power. When video games come out, there are people there to boycott it because the video games are too violent. Call of Duty, what all the games are. There's always someone that needs other people to do what they want, regardless. Let them do what they do because what I've always seen is that by them doing that, it ends up promoting something to making more people want to see it. Like the perfect example, what is that? I can't think of it, but they did a remake of this, not a remake of this movie, but they did a movie about how they made this movie that starred who's the dude from Spider-Man franchise, and the first one we started watching together. Not Tobey Maguire, but the person that was his best friend that ended up becoming Goblin.
Uh, uh, the actual actor or
Yeah,
the name of the character?
the actor. Can't think of his name because he was in that. He was in Wizard of
Ooh, oh,
Oz.
oh my gosh, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, got that certain smile about him. So you know who I'm talking about, but
Yes,
he did that one movie, the disaster movie. I think that's what it's called, where
yes.
they were talking about the movie they got made that was a horrible movie, but people actually watched this movie not because they loved it or they enjoyed it, because it was the most horrible movie they've ever seen. They're like, I've got to see this for myself. So they go and see it. And that it's now a cult classic and it people think that it's the greatest thing. So when you say something, whether you say it's bad, whether you say it's good, it's mostly when you say it's bad. When people are boycotting it, it brings up the numbers. Right now, while you were talking about the movie, it's made over 71 million, but the budget for the
Nice.
movie is 150. So it hasn't
Mm,
recouped what it needed yet. I saw something that said it was only 50 million for them to make. But I was like, that doesn't seem right because they had a dragon in it. When you
yes,
dragon in there, you're gonna be spending a lot of money.
exactly.
Um and it's a movie. So it had $150 million budget from what I'm looking at, from what I saw on the websites, but which means they haven't made their money back. Them boycotting this movie could actually give them the numbers that they want to actually, balance this movie so there could be a part 2 or a part 3. I'm I don't mind people expressing something that they feel that they think is wrong, whether they think whether they're right or whether they're wrong. Everyone has like their opinion, but it's never worked out in their favor when they say, you know what, we should boycott Grand Theft Auto. You should have never done that because Grand Theft Auto is its own thing. It's unstoppable now.
It
Like you
really
talk bad
is.
about Grand Theft Auto, you're gonna get in trouble more than it is than anything else. So that's
Mhm.
why they don't talk about it anymore. Same thing with Call of Duty. Same thing with Assassin's Creed. Is just same thing. What even if you don't even like Madden, there's too many people that are just die hard fans. It's just and they'll come for you. So it's just
Yeah.
for me like if you have a movie like this, I didn't think I'm definitely gonna watch it. It's not a movie that honestly that I would go to the movie theater and see. But I gotta make sure that I say why I don't go see certain movies in the movie theater. I always feel like I'm just being honest. Sometimes I feel like I'm risking my life going to the movie theater with everything that's going on with COVID and things like that. And I want to make sure that my health is good because I do have issues with my health. So when I decide to go to a movie theater, it's almost like, yeah, I'm willing to risk my life for this movie. But
Mhm.
Dungeons and Dragons is not one of the ones that I want to kind of risk my life for, but it is something that I can't wait to see pop up on HBO Max. I got my excellent sound system in the basement, big screen TV, 85-inch screen TV. So I'm gonna sit there and watch it and enjoy it, make my own popcorn, and have a blast watching it and laugh my behind off by myself, sound up and good to go. It to me, it's one of those movies.
Yeah.
Um, but it's not a movie that I will sit there and put like, oh, it's been like a year or two. Let me go ahead and watch it. No, this thing is gonna be something I'm probably gonna rent the moment it comes out because all the actors that are in there are people that I really like, and I've been maybe gotta start doing this show early in the day. As early as it is right now, I still find my I don't know. I think I just yawned from talking too much, but I
But
guess
I
I'm
feel
bored
what you're
myself.
but I
Um,
feel what you're saying. Like at the end of the day, you're there are certain people that have those certain movies that they're definitely gonna go see. And so they save their money, and it's not always just about the safety. Sometimes it's a finance issue. I can't go see every movie, but I know there's three big movies that I want to see that I really care about this year. So those are the ones I'm gonna make sure to go see.
what
That's
are
how a
those?
lot of people feel, huh?
What are your three
My big 3, whew, one of number 1 has gotta be Flash. I have to see
noodles
Flash. Um, Number 2 is the, Demon Slayer. There's a Demon Slayer movie out right now,
in the movie theater?
in theaters. Very quiet. I didn't even know that it was coming out. If you are really close to the ground on anime movies being released in theaters, you will miss them every single time, and it sucks because only certain people know about certain things. So I
N-
just found
you
out.
drive to the Alamo, and you're actually close to the Alamo. I would
You said
recommend, yeah, you go to the Alamo will always play those anime movies like nobody's business, and they'll even bring back the past ones.
yes.
And so, yeah, the Alamo, I gotta give a lot of credit to the Alamo because they put back classic movies, but they also care about anime, and they will be putting those anime movies on there in a
And
heart.
it's
So if you
and it's
subscribe
so
to thing,
crazy.
let you know.
It's so crazy because the Alamo, I only knew the Alamo to do it. But since the Alamo started doing it, I feel like it's forcing other theaters to take note. And I remember over the holiday season they did a marathon of the Studio Ghibli movies. And me and my best friend, we went as a group and we went and saw Howl's Moving Castle in theaters. I've seen Howl's Moving Castle before. I've seen them all before. I don't remember any of them. And I didn't realize that I don't remember any of them until I was sitting in the theater, wide eyed with my mouth open, going, oh my gosh, how could I have forgotten this? This is incredible. And
I feel like it's a spell because I've seen them too, and then I'll even see like, did I see that? Like, you darn right you saw it, but then it's like I don't remember it. I'm trying to remember something, and sometimes they go together. Like, why am I thinking of Princess Mononoke as opposed to this? And like, wait, wasn't that in the other one? Wait, who had the ghost? And then like, wait, someone had a castle, but there was a train, and then so I get confused. And wasn't there a pig? And so it's just yeah, I get
and then
confused.
later on he'll do they will do whole movies about a character that was in a piece of one in the past, and you're just like, what is going on? And so I looked up all of them, and um if you guys have HBO Max, definitely get HBO Max because HBO Max has their entire platform. everything that was ever created on them is right now on HBO Max because I at one point in time I let my general manager borrow the password to my HBO Max and because I wanted her to see the Snyder cut of Justice League. I was like, you gotta watch. She was like, okay, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. So she watched it, and that was like a year ago. But then we were all sitting around talking about the fact that all of the Studio Ghibli movies um, are in HBO Max.
Mhm.
And next thing you know, 2 days later, I go onto my HBO Max account. All I see is watched is Howl's Moving Castle, Princess Mononoke, Kiki's, and I'm just like, if she went back onto my account, I'm like, if you don't buy your own account,
She never left your account, Davis. She just
huh?
makes sure she deletes it after she watches it. She's had that account the whole. You just now realize.
I'm like, you get paid more than me. What? Let's go get your own account.
But free is free. Free is free. Was
But
that a
yeah.
commercial like free, 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 free? Yeah. That,
But yeah, so that is I'm looking forward to this Dungeons and Dragons. And it's because of the fact that as you know, I've forced myself to watch old movies and things like that. And so it's just so much fun going back and seeing some of the older ones and knowing that you want to get into some of the newer ones and seeing Viola Davis was in Beautiful Creatures. I never knew she was in that movie. And one day I want you to go and watch all of the the old teen movies that never made it. The teen book series that were trying to vie for the Twilight spot once Twilight was over. Because I'm going back and I'm watching a lot of these, and
what do you mean?
and you
Wait,
said
like the maze or those
no, like Mortal Instruments, Beautiful Creatures, Divergent, those movies that all came out within
seen 'em
2
all.
years. Huh?
I saw 'em, you didn't.
Oh, I never saw them.
You
So
like
you
Mortal Instruments.
I loved Mortal Instruments,
That was
man.
really good.
That was so good. And I am just sitting here going, "Man, they never made it." So my one of the big topics that I want us to discuss on the next episode is what is the biggest teen movie that series that didn't make it that you wished could have been the next Harry Potter or the next Twilight?
Cool. That's a great way to end this discussion. So I want to thank Javis for being here as always. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Make sure you stay tuned for the next episode because you know we always do them back to back, which is why you still see the same outfit twice in a row. I always want to thank Javis for going on here. What's making me laugh right now is that we started with Zachary Levi. And that's exactly what his shirt is, but he's talking about someone else in that shirt. Hopefully work for what because good lord, he looks effed up right now. But it was another conversation. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you next time. As always, keep it locked and loaded. Always locked and loaded with information. Take care.